Hi, third grade.
Hey, third grade. It is so great to get to see you guys again. Today in Mind Matters, we are going to talk about this really, really, really cool thing called
Optimism.
Optimism. Yes. For those of you who don't know what optimism is, it is something that we can train our brain to do in order to see the world in a really, really hopeful and wonderful light. What we know about optimism is that the more that we do it, the better we get at it. And what else we know about optimism is that the more that we do it and use it, the better responses we have to life in general. Okay, so when we are using optimism, our brain is actually staying fully engaged and we're able to problem solve through really hard situations. All right, so you might wonder, what is optimism, right? It's what Ayla said. What is it? So optimism is the ability to be able to look at a problem and not just see the bad in it, but also see possibility and hopefulness in it. If you talk to your parents, ask them what it means to have a glass half full versus a glass half empty, and they will know exactly what you are talking about, okay? Pretend that you're a super thirsty person and you run over to your friend and your friend's holding this blue glass of water because it's got food coloring in it and says, here, I have a glass of water for you to drink. The optimistic view would be to see this glass as half full, okay? Like, oh, thanks, I've got a half full glass of water.
I'm going to drink it all up.
I'm going to drink it all up and thank you so much. The pessimistic view, which is the opposite of optimism, would be,
why is it? It's not fully full. I need a full glass of water.
Right, like why would you just give me a half empty glass of water? So essentially, it's the same situation, and depending on our view, kind of helps us decide whether or not we're going to think about it in a healthy and hopeful way or in a really unproductive, sad, disappointing way. Okay? So, one other example, if you are ever faced with something that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, there's something coming, I have to do this thing, I don't want to do it, I might fail, I'm going to mess it all up, it's going to be the end of the world, and life as I know it, I'm going to die, okay? What is happening to the brain there is the lid is flipping, right? The amygdala is taking over. Or you can think of this new thing that's coming up and go, oh, wow, that's kind of new. That could be a really cool adventure. I might actually learn something. And even if I fail, I
could have so much fun.
I could have so much fun, okay? So when we think about a situation in that capacity, your prefrontal cortex, that thinking part of your brain, is staying engaged. Pretty cool, huh? So we've got some examples of how to take some negative situations and put a little bit of a positive spin on them so that you don't just feel the negative feelings, but maybe you can get some positive feelings out of it as well. Go for it, Ayla.
Okay, so these are my examples. I miss seeing my friends at school, but it is fun seeing my family. I don't like my mom works so much, but I get to spend time with my dad, and I get to give my mom hugs every hour.
Yay!
At least. I didn't run my full 2.1 miles on Sunday, but I got finished at 1.1 miles.
Awesome. Then we'll get to those other ones in just a second. So you can kind of get the picture. Does this mean the feelings are bad? No, feelings are perfectly fine, okay? On Saturday, I got some really terrible news, and I was very sad because I had a lot of really deep feelings about this news. And so I was crying and upset. But even in the midst of being upset, I was also very grateful that I had my family around me to help support me through that, and that I was safe, and that everything in the situation ended up being okay. So there were all of these other things that were also going on in my brain, okay? So you can feel two things at one time. And sometimes just reminding yourself that, oh man, it's raining, we can't go out and have our picnic. But we could have a picnic inside, and that would be kind of fun, right? So there are different ways to put positive spins on hard situations, and that helps out in life, all right? A couple of other quick examples that Ayla and I had around this whole situation with being home, okay? Yeah, I'll do the first one. So we miss seeing our friends, don't we? But we also are so appreciative of the time that we get to spend with each other.
We are tired at looking at screens for work and school, and it makes us appreciate all the time of our day that is not spent in front of the screen.
Good. And then finally, we really miss getting to see everyone at Mind Matters. And we are so happy that we still get to connect to you, even if it's through a screen.
On
Hey,
YouTube.
third grade, we love you so much. We wish you well.
We wish you well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.